Alright guys, Dave here with TMG. I have a quick little nugget for you here. If you are having problems with, let's say you did a brake job and when you hit the brakes, obviously the brakes contact, but you still hear some of that rubbing noise afterwards, like when you let off the brake, a lot of times what you did either not enough or forgot to do is either A, you need to remove the slide pins, clean all the old grease off of them, and then I use Silglide. I know a lot of people like to use ceramic, you know, grease and whatnot. The more you put on here, the harder they will be to move. So you just want a little bit on there. Drop that in, make sure your boot is back on. Do the same to the next one. Again, just a little bit is all you need. All you're doing is put a little lubrication on there so it moves freely. If you pack it too tight, it will not move. Okay, and make sure both those move. The next thing that you might have not done properly is clean the area where the hardware sits. So some people will say they don't change the hardware, you know, they reuse it or whatever, but what happens is you get rust and debris built up inside of this channel here, and as that builds up, it actually thickens the wall area. So when you snap these in, it makes this tighter and it doesn't allow the pad to move freely. So I use a Dremel. This is a cut wheel, but I don't cut with it. This one cut through this bracket anyways. You could use a power sander, belt sander, whatever you got that can get in here. Your little piece of sandpaper on your hand, it's not going to do it. You're actually going to have to get in there. So I'm going to do one for you and show you how clean it needs to be. So I turn the speed down. And you want to get all this rust off. Okay, wipe this off. So the difference here, as you can see, this side is all caked with dirt, rust, and even in this little crack here. Look at this one. Is it 100% clean? No, and that's okay. But look at the difference. That is going to allow the hardware to snap down in here flush and be completely into the groove. So if you make sure you do this, guys, you make sure you lubricate these pins, pull them out, wipe the old grease off, re-lubricate them, make sure they move, you'll have a lot less problems with pads sticking during brake operation and release of brake operation. So I hope this helped. One last thing I will say is if you ever get to a point where these pins won't come out, a lot of times you're stuck, I'll take my little impact and try and twist them to back them out. If I can't get these to move, take a look at the prices, because some places will sell the bracket, pins, boots, but they sell them all individually. So you buy one bracket, a pair of pins, and a package of boots. Or see how much it is just to buy a caliper. Even if you don't need the caliper, you can always just not use the caliper, take all the hardware, the bracket and everything, and then just put your old bracket into the caliper box. A lot of times I find that a caliper will run me about 40 bucks, but if I buy a bracket, pins, boots, I could have $50, $60 wrapped into it. So it's actually cheaper to not buy it individually, just buy a whole caliper, and then just send back the new caliper with my old bracket and everything else. You can replace the caliper if you want, since you're spending the money on it, but sometimes I don't because I don't need to. So thanks again, guys. Like, subscribe, share these posts if you think they'll be any help to anybody. We'll see you on the next video.